This segment is called how to increase your on-base percentage by 100 points. All right, we're going to give you a few ideas on how to do that. We're going to go quickly on this to try to get back on schedule. But all right, so do we want the handout? Do you want it in front?
Inside, Kelly.
Alan, in that bag right there, or in that pouch. Nope, on the ground, right by your foot. Go ahead and pass them out. All right, let's start with the first one. All right, you want to add 100. You want to add 100 points to your on-base percentage? Draw a walk. Draw one walk every 10 at bats. Okay, you've already done it. So, how can we, as a hitter, try to draw a walk? What are some of the things we got to know going in?
Where the pitcher's throwing it.
How the pitcher is throwing it. Are there pitchers that are more wild than others?
Yeah.
Yes. What else can we be paying attention to?
He's throwing short or long.
If he's consistently throwing it short, know where he's going with it. How about the conditions? If it's a windy day, is it easy to pitch? No. That ball moves. All right, if the ball moves. Got it? So if it's a windy day, maybe go up there and take the first pitch. All right, now what count do you guys use most of the time? Right, now there are some associations you start with a 0-0 count. I hate it. We just played it last week. The spa organization starts with a 0-0 count. All right, it makes the game longer. But as a hitter, on an 0-0 count, I'm usually taking a strike. I'm taking until I get a strike. Got it? Take till you get a strike if you start with an 0-0 count. Now once there's one strike, you get back into the usual stuff. Now what if we're starting with a 1-1 count? Do you have that luxury to take a strike? Do you like to take a strike with a 1-1 count? No. All right, two-strike hitting is difficult. Harder to hit with two strikes because you can be less selective. You may swing at a bad pitch with two strikes just so it doesn't hit the board. All right, so if we're trying to draw one walk in every 10 at-bats, be selective and learn your strike zone. Learn to recognize pitches that will not end up in the strike zone. All right, watch the pitcher if he seems to be having trouble hitting the board or mat, and then concentrate more and make sure he throws you a strike. A lot of that can be done in the mental preparation before you get in there. All right. And then again, I did the Alan Tanner rule when taking batting practice. Make sure you have a mat, a board, a towel, and if you don't think it's a strike, let it land. Let it land. Don't tap it back to the pitcher. You understand that? We're taking batting practice. You don't think it's a strike, let it land. We'll let it roll to the back and we'll get it in a minute. But let it land and make sure that you were right on that. You were correct. If you're tapping the ball back to the pitcher, you'll never know whether that was a ball or a strike because you didn't let it land. All right? Now, I'll do some drills sometimes. I'll work with a pitcher who's working on his stuff, and I'll get in here like this. So if you've got a pitcher friend that wants to come out and work on throwing strikes, you can take that while he or she's getting to work. You can stand here. And then every pitch that he throws, if I think it was a strike, I actually swing. All right? So if I swing and it hits the board, then I know I was right. If I think it was a ball, I would take it and we would watch. So sometimes you can do that drill. You get somebody to come out there and pitch 50 balls in a row, and I want you to watch all 50 of them. And you decide whether it was a ball or a strike. All right? What are we practicing there? We're practicing the strike zone. All right? Very good hitters know their strike zone. And it makes it easier to hit. All right? Strikes are easier to hit than balls, correct? Yeah, Abner Doubleday, a long time ago, whoever invented this game, they said, if they throw a pitch and it goes somewhere between your knees and your letters over this 17-inch plate, all right, if it's in that area and you don't swing at it, we're going to punish you. We're going to call it a strike, all right, because that pitch was easier to hit. If the pitch comes way up here or way in here and you don't swing at it, we're going to reward you. We're going to call that a ball. If you do that 4 times, you get a free trip to first base. All right? If you stand up here and you take 3 pitches that were easy to hit, you get a free trip back to the dugout. All right? But you should have swung at those because strikes are easier to hit than balls. Got it? So if you want to be a good hitter, you got to recognize good pitches. Tony Gwynn, The people ask Tony Gwynn, what's your secret? He says, I hit strikes, I take balls, I hit good pitches. All right, so as a hitter, you want to do that as well. So draw one walk every 10 at-bats is going to increase your batting average. All right, the next thing, come on this side, Chris. The next thing we've already talked about a little bit, and I'm going to use the tee today because we're going to use this tee in the skills competition for hitting, but I love tee work. So the next thing to help you increase your on-base percentage by 100 points is to be able to hit ground balls on demand. Be able to hit it on the ground. If you're placing a four-man infield and you see a hole, all right, be able to hit it. So during your tee work, I want you to do that same thing. If the 5-6 hole is open, I'm going to get up here and I'm going to try to hit ground balls through that 5-6 hole. I'm going to do it again as many times as I can. I want to practice hitting the ball on the ground. If you practice hitting the ball on the ground, let's say I take a peek out there and the 3-4 hole is open.
You notice what Bob just did right now? What did he do?
I moved my
He
tee.
moved the tee to where?
Outside.
The outside outer half of the ball, where we taught you yesterday about the impact zone, right? I like, instead of, I used to, when I started working myself on tee work, I used to adjust my body to where the ball was, and I would set the ball in the middle, and I would adjust my body to hit balls like this and like this. But that's a disconnect. We want to do everything possibly that we can when we're doing drills and things like a game situation, right? And we learned yesterday when I did the ball placement, remember for the righties, inside pitch, middle of the plate pitch, outside pitch. Bob is cementing that into his head right now. It sounds silly, but it's another little thing. It's another little learning tool for our brain and our body to connect by practicing hitting ground balls, whether he's hitting a ground ball or a fly ball to the backside, of putting that ball where we should make impact with that ball, right? In the impact zone. So I just started doing this myself some years ago because it's another way of connecting brain, body.
All right, so now I want to go, I got up, I looked around, the 3-4 hole's open. So now, because I have a tee, I can control the variables. I can make it an outside pitch. How do I do it? I move my tee. I moved it back, outside, all right? I may step off the board a little bit. Now I can take that pitch, hit it in the 3-4 hole, all right? The big thing I need to do is hit it above the center of the ball, and boom. Okay, now I've got another ground ball. So a great drill, if you want to increase your on-base percentage, you got to be able to hit the ball on the ground on purpose. We covered that a little yesterday, all right? But it's also going to make you a better hitter, all right? Next thing I want to talk about is, I don't think a lot of people do this. I want you to learn to utilize the foul lines with 0 or 1 strike. Utilize that, all right? We don't do that enough. If I get up and there's nobody, I mean, I got 1 strike on me, if it's USA, or no strikes on me in spa, and I want to look around and I see that line open, that's a great place to go ahead and give it a try. All right, so a lot of times we can become better hitters. The reason I want to go ahead and pick on that line, A, it's pretty wide open, and B, if I miss, I want to miss foul. Because with 0 or 1 strike on me, if I miss foul, am I out? No. So I can take a chance and hit me a double down that line, all right, without being out, then I'm going to do that. So I want to practice that. So get your tee, put it way out in front of you, all right, up on the board a little bit. And now I want to try to hit this ball down that left field line. If I miss, I want to miss foul and not towards the scoreboard. So I want to practice that. So here it goes. Foul ball.
That was close, though, Bobby.
It's foul.
Missed it by that much.
Is that left fielder going to catch that? Probably not. And I live to see another pitch. Okay? So now I got 1 strike on me because we were playing spa and I had a 0-0 count. Could I try it again? Sure, if it's
In that
wide
situation,
open.
yeah.
If that left fielder is way over there by the light pole, all I got to do is get it in the air down that line, then let's try it again. All right? Boom, this time I was good. Now I've got a double, maybe a stand-up triple with my wheels. All right. Why don't we do this with 2 strikes on us? if there's no courtesy. Okay, if there's no courtesy, then we don't want to go down those lines. We're going to have to go somewhere else. Okay? You all understand? If there's a courtesy, you can be risky and try it again if you want. I told you I'm not even going to try that one over there. But if you like going backside, you can do the same thing down the right field line.
2 strikes, you can get 1 foul.
All right? But add this drill to your routine. Anybody ever done that on purpose? Try to hit it down the left field line or right field line 10 times in a row? Good.
Remember strengths and weaknesses. You got one of the best hitters in the country standing in front of you, and what he just said is, I'm not going to even try the right field line. Now I know that he does it at home in practice, but I know that Bob can hit a ball in an area anywhere on the field that he wants. But maybe only 7 out of 10 times can he hit it there. But I will tell you that he can hit a ball 8 or 9 times out of 10 over there on command when he wants to. So, as the point being here is we're still a work in progress. We still do these things at home. We still work to try to make ourselves better at the game. Point being here is if you're not confident in yourself of being able to push a ball to right field or pull one down the line yet, don't try it in a game. Don't try it in a game, because we know that, hey, if I'm not very good at hooking that line. I'm comfortable pretty much anywhere else in the field the same way Bob is on this side. If I tried doing that in a game, I might do it 3 out of 10 times. Do I want to be a 300 hitter at that at bat? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Play your strengths, but work on your weaknesses. That's the point.
All right, again, number 4. You want to increase your on-base percentage by 100 points. Where's the biggest hole in the field in a 4-man? In the middle. All the way to the fence. Well, again, you guys got that 11th fielder out there. That's never fun. But let's pretend that 11th fielder is as young as me, and there's only 10 fielders out there. All right, so the biggest hole on the field is through the middle. So let's spend some time. And let me make a point here. Sometimes we go out for batting practice or we go out to the field to work and we have a theme. We don't just go out there and hit. Have a theme when you go out there. Today's theme is middle. I'm going to learn to hit the middle. I'm going to practice hitting the middle. Okay? So here we go. I get to the field. I got my bucket of balls. I got my tee. I put a screen out there. I'm going to simulate. That's where the pitcher is. All right? So this pitcher here likes to throw a pitch and then step off to the right a little bit. That's okay. So what I want to do is for maybe 20 balls, I want to hit balls through the middle. I want to do everything except hit that screen. So where do I put my ball with my tee? Right in the middle. All right, I get back in the box, neutral stance, and now right now, I want to hit the ball left or right of that screen. All right, and I'm just going to work on it over and over again. Okay. Let's see if I can get one to that 275 sign. So here I'm going to go. Right of the pitcher, left of the pitcher. Here it comes. Back through the middle. Hopefully that ball gets down. Splits the gap.
Notice the difference in where he's making impact on the ball when he wants to hit it in the air?
Slightly below center, right?
Okay.
Little tip I told a couple of you guys the other day. It sounds silly, but how many times have we talked to you all about keeping your head on the ball through impact and everything? One thing that I still do, and I do tee work and even something like this, Chris just pointed out, where is he hitting the ball in order to do that? He's hitting it slightly below middle, right? So we can get the ball in the air a little bit. We want to try to get a little bit on top otherwise. This is getting back to what we say, everything practice with a purpose, right? This is my little trick. I still do this. I take the label of the ball and I put it on the tee. If I'm trying to hit center of the ball and hit line drives, I'll hit it. I'll do it just like this, okay? I'll get back on my spot. I'm literally reading the label as I'm swinging. What does that do for me? It helps me to focus on keeping my head on the ball as well as the exercise at hand of hitting a line drive through the middle here. If it's another little trick of practicing it the right way. If I want to hit a ground ball, I might do that up a little bit, okay? I'm reading slow pitch right there. boom, I'm hitting it there. If I want to hit a fly ball, I might put it down a little bit like that. The thing that I'm trying to do is solidify one of the biggest things that we train you about, that we see a lot of people doing, which is taking your head off the ball at the swing, one of these numbers. Okay? So just a little trick. Put that label exactly where your impact is. Okay?
That gives you a little target aim.
Gives you a little target to aim at. I still do it when I do teamwork.
And notice how slight he moved that ball for all three of those positions. It's not a giant movement with the ball. It's literally just a hint above center, hint below center. When we say hit the bottom of the ball, we're not hitting the very bottom of the ball. We're hitting literally just below the center of the ball. So it's a very slight adjustment.
All right, I'm gonna try this one. Next up. Do I sound bad?
No, I just want to keep you hydrated, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, next up, number 5. We want to increase our batting average by 100 points. We got to be able to hit it in the gaps. Let's pretend that you get to face a 5-man infield, 3 outfielders, once in a while. Do you ever get to? Some of you? No?
No?
All right.
By attrition when somebody goes down, you're taking out the meat
All right,
wagon.
so I'm just going to show you a little gap-to-gap drill. I like to use the double T sometimes. All right. So now I've got up. There's 3 outfielders again. I've got left center gap. I got right center gap. So I want to practice hitting that. All right.
Are there still gaps in a 4-man outfield?
Yeah.
And usually the biggest, best ones in the middle.
Yeah. The good news about being 60 and over or 65 and over, and they have 5
They are too.
outfielders,
Great
4 outfielders.
point.
Those guys are that age too.
They're not that
So
fast.
they're not moving. So if I'm playing in the 50 and over, and we got a little fast guy out there in center field, I've got to be a little more precise. So anyway, here I go. I'm going to set up my tees. All right. If the pitch is on the inner half of the plate, I'm going to hit that pitch into the left center gap. If the pitch is on the outer half of the plate, I'm going to hit that one into the right center gap. All right. Correct?
Yeah.
So here with the double T, I'll be able to go. So here it comes. Again, I want to get it over the shortstop's head. This is my nemesis when I make it out. It's when I roll over the ball and hit it right at the shortstop when I'm trying to go in that left center gap. So I need to focus, hit the bottom of the ball and hit it into that gap. Okay? So there's my left center gap. And then here comes the pitch on the outer half. And I want to hit that one into the right center gap. All right? Practice it over and over and over again until you get really good at it. Left center gap. Uh-oh, that's close.
Good enough.
I might still have it there. Okay? You with me on that?
Remember what we told you guys before. Do this until you can get it right 8 out of 10 times, and then go to the next one. And look, if you get stuck on one gap and you've done 25 swings, all right, you can flip it over if you want to try the other one. But if you can, try to go 8 out of 10 and then flip the next one.
Okay, and then, again, like Alan said, a lot of times we want to train our strengths instead of working on our weaknesses. So if one of those gaps becomes your nemesis, then we need to go ahead. Maybe on Wednesday we come out, and my theme on Wednesday is left center gap, left center gap. And you get those repetitions and do it over and over and over again. It becomes muscle memory, right? And all of a sudden we get good at it. We've taken a weakness and turned it into a strength, okay? Now the last thing, and this one this has mystified me since I've been in the game, all right? Because we talk about the length of the bat. How long is this? 34 inches long. The reason why some people go down on the knob and overlap is to make this bat longer. So now, if they've got both hands here, all right, the top of my grip is here. I've got a lot of space. I've got about 30 inches between the top of my hand and the end of the bat versus the traditional baseball grip, where now I only have about 28 inches between the top of my hand and the end of the bat, all right? We all know that the longer the lever, the greater the velocity at the end of the lever. So what those guys are doing that are overlapping is they're trying to make the bat longer, because science says the longer the lever, the greater the velocity at the end of the lever. That's why the driver in your bag is longer than the pitching wedge. The driver is made for what? Distance. Pitching wedge is made for control. All right, so if you go down on the knob and overlaps, you're trying to make the lever a little bit longer. You're going to give yourself a little more distance. You're going to create a little more bat speed out near the end of the barrel.
Are you giving up top hand control?
Yes.
Yes.
You're also going to lose a little bit of control. I love talking to my seniors because when I talk about this guy here, all right, tell me who this guy was. 3,000 hits. Pete Rose. All right, what did I just do? I choked up. So knowing what I just told you, am I adding control or distance? I'm adding control. I just made this a pitching wedge. All right, Pete Rose, all-time hits leader, right? Is he still the all-time hits leader?
Yes.
All right. Pete Rose would choke up on the bat. What is he trying to do there? He's trying to make contact. He's trying to get his barrel to the ball. And I don't know why we haven't suggested it to some of you. Choke up on the bat.
There's a little bit of a dichotomy there because we know that in softball, we talked about it earlier, how we have to provide power as versus in baseball where the ball's coming in at distance. And this is Bob and I've had some discussions on this ourselves, within ourselves, of we're going to lose a little bit of power. We're going to gain some control by choking up on the bat. But for certain players, we've talked about it where we really feel like it could be advantageous for them to do that. And we've played around with it ourselves. I've played around with it myself. We're going to talk a little bit more in depth on grip. I think we have a little bit later on about that. But Bob brought up a great point. Yes, right now we'll go into it more depth. But
what I'm saying to you, think about it. Consider it. Somebody the other day with the knob was bothering their hand. I said, but just choke up a little bit, okay? But listen, if we can choke up on the bat and give us more control, what are we having more control of? We're controlling what? The barrel, all right? So if we want to have better control of the barrel, let's say you get up, Stormy, and they've swung everybody to the right side.
the Stormy shift.
They're all over there, Stormy, and this side of the field is wide open. I would love to see you in a big situation, choke up on your bat, all right? And then when that pitch comes in here, just go, oh, look at that's a bad example there. Just do whatever you got to do, Stormy, to go ahead and get you a little base hit over there, all right? Now I'm being, we're exaggerating it there. But if I get up and that 3-4 hole is wide open, all right, and I want to have a little more bat control, it wouldn't hurt to choke up a little bit. So now I've choked up a little bit, and now I can just go. And I know I've seen Wilson do this. That guy throws it around the yard. We've got a guy named Brian Milstead on our team last year. I think he hits 850 every weekend.
Seems like it.
And there are times that he is just, here comes the pitch, and he just goes, or he'll go about 50%. All right, chokes up on the bat a little bit, and he just hits it where they're not. We wheelie keeler, hit it where they ain't. So if there's a big hole on the field when you get up there, all right, and you got to get on base, don't be afraid to choke up a little bit. Let's say that second baseman swung way over there. I just got to get it past the pitcher. Choke up, here it comes. It just hits you a base hit through the hole. All right, this is science. Science tells me if I choke up on the bat, I have better bat control.
Yesterday when we were doing our demonstration when I was hitting, remember I dumped a little ball in the right field on purpose? You guys probably didn't notice it, but I hold the bat. I don't do what I do, but I hold the bat like this, okay? But when I go into a control situation where we call it pooching. Chris and I play this all the time. I do this, I'll go to this. For me, it's choking up on the bat because it's so different to me, but I get a little bit more control. What Bob was just explaining, where you just take that 50-60% swing and you just dump one over there because the right fielder is back at 280 or 290 because we hit a gapper before that. So I actually do this a little bit. I think it's, some of us can even go a little bit more than what I do.
With the control, we're going to create more consistency. It's the biggest thing we're chasing, is to be more consistent. That's how we're going to add, if we're taking more pitches, hitting better pitches, and we're creating more control, we're going to be more consistent. We could add more than 100 points to our batting average. We could skyrocket. If we're in control, we're going to be more consistent.
All right, everybody understand that? Now, I did it last year coming to Vegas. we know that in Vegas, the fences are short, the air is thin, all right, the balls are hard. And we have a hard time keeping the ball in the yard in Vegas. So for the 3 weeks prior to going to Vegas, I took a lot of batting practice, choking up on the bat and swinging less than 85%. So I took a little bit off my swing. You don't want to try to get up here and do 50% all the time. Alan practices that pooching a lot, all right? It's not easy to do. But if you can turn it down from your regular old swing when you're swinging at about 85%, if you could turn it down a little bit to about 75% or 70, I'm just trying to keep it in the yard. So now I'll take that 70% swing and try to hit it into that gap, and just know that there's no way I'm gonna hit it out of the park with this 70% swing. And my biggest one is that left center gap again. I don't want to miss hit one and spin it in Vegas and hit it into the net with nobody on base. Because I get back in that dugout and I get a lot of dirty looks. You know, your teammates, you know, Han Solo, you know, they got all kind of nicknames for you. And I don't want to do it anyway. I don't want to, you know, waste a home run on a solo home run. So there's a little bit of peer pressure on me to keep it in the yard, and we get it. So I thought it would be cool to be able to choke up and just kind of hit me a 75%er in the air over that shortstop's head. So I had to practice it. So here, I'm not going to go 100%. I'm going to go about 75%. Just try to hit me. Look at that. That's a base hit, right? Guaranteed that one ain't leaving the yard.
One key thing about this, though, look, if you notice what Bob did is he drastically cut his swing down, right? But what he did is he still finished the swing. What you do not want to do is get at your regular swing speed and then, for you golfers, decelerate the club. The worst thing you can do is do this. You still need, you just need to swing a little bit less full to guide that ball, and this is what we call directional hitting, okay? You still need to get through the ball, just less of a swing. But make sure you always finish the swing, no matter if it's a 50, 60, 80% swing. You gotta finish the swing.
Stay in control of the barrel.
Timing. How much is that affecting timing?
You gotta work. This is something that
This is more advanced.
This is an advanced skill, you know, that goes with directing the ball. But you guys now have learned about hitting balls where they're, you know, where they're pitched. You know, we separated. We eliminated half the plate for you to go. Okay, they're inside half. We're gonna go here to here, here to here. We showed you the advanced versus 3 parts of the plate. But still, this is like the next step from that. Okay, where and here's the thing too. Consider your capabilities, your strengths, your weaknesses as a player, and you know what? A little bit of choking up and directing balls in the right place, especially, you know, look at, I mean, you don't want to pick on the person, but what do you see in the NFL when the number 1 cornerback goes down with an ankle injury and they throw the rookie in? What's going to happen? They're going right at him. We're going to target the weakness. Is there anything wrong with us targeting a weakness on an infielder or an outfielder? No, it's not.
It's no different than somebody shifting. If they know you're all pull, they're going to put as many fielders on that side as they can, because you're going to hit it, chances are, to one of their fielders.
They overshifted you, whatever it is, or maybe that you have picked up on one of your 2 spots like Bob taught us yesterday. We're picking 2 spots we're going to hit, right? And we're going to dictate it by the pitch. Maybe I've got that spot right there where I know, look, if I can hit a 70% swing and get a ball in the air, and you know what you did? Last week you hit 200 balls, and you hit 100 of them in the air there and there because you did your work, right? And you know you did it pretty good in practice. I'm going to do it in the game. See how the confidence starts to work? Put in our work at home. Game time's our reward.
All right, I want to share one more thing with you. This is kind of crazy. When I was umpiring in Vegas last year in the 40s, and I know Chris has played against this guy. There's a guy named Leroy, is it Dozel?
Yep.
That plays out of California, and he kind of gave me a tip as he crossed by. He says, "Watch." He says, "I'm taking a full swing here." So he put it in, put that bug in my ear, and this kid or guy has mastered this swing right here. And I played a lot of softball, but I'd never seen this in my life before. He actually gets up and he tries to hit the ball right here, off the handle. All right, and it was the craziest thing.
This is a funny thing.
And it's a full swing that he takes. Of course, he chokes up just a little bit, and he looks around, and that third baseman's pretty deep. And he's got a swing where he just actually got, He's got a swing where he actually, that's even too hard. He gets it to hit off of the handle and it deadens it, and it's almost like a swing and bunt, and he's mastered this thing. And I think guys that play against him actually, you know, it works once a game, all right? So, but then every other time at bat he comes up, guess what he did? He's drawn that third baseman in a little bit, and now he can take a full swing and smack it by him. But here's a guy that went to the extreme and practiced even more than just choking up. He went to a choke up, a rollover swing, and actually on purpose hit it off of the tape or off of the handle. And it worked every single time he tried it. I was amazed at it. So there's a lot of different things that you can do, but just know that you don't have to get up there and swing as hard as you can every time. There's things that you can do to make yourself a better hitter. All right, and that's hitting ground balls on command, hitting the ball in the gap when it's open, hitting fly balls on command. All right, try to utilize that line with less than 2 strikes on you, the foul lines. All right, and then try to draw you a walk. All right, a lot of times on 3 and 1, I'll actually stand way up here, get us on top, and I'll do a little bat woggle or whatever, because I know as a pitcher, that's a different look. All right, and there's some
Bob wag his butt too.
there's some pitchers that when you do that,
Show him the butt wag.
so this is still legal. This is legal. All right. Now I'm a pitcher and I see this crazy guy doing that, and it's 3 and 1. Sometimes it messes with you. So a lot of times it works. I get ball 4. I drop my bat and I run to first base, and I just got on base. On base percentage, does the walk count as a hit? Sure does. Okay, that's one less chance I have to take of hitting it at somebody, hitting a solo home run, all right, or mishitting a ball. So on that 3-1 count, now it's another discussion. I don't think you should always take the 3-1 pitch. As a pitcher, when it's 3 and 1, it's the only time that I'm trying to hit the middle of the board. Every other pitch I throw, I'm trying to hit the edge or just outside the edge. I'm trying to come as close to the board as I can without hitting it when I'm pitching. Why is that?
Get me to hit.
I want you to swing at a ball and not a strike. Understand that? But on 3-1, what do I got to do? I got to hit the board. So the 3-1 pitch is the only time I'm aiming for the middle of that board. But there's a lot of teams that have a philosophy of what? Take it. If you get out on swinging at a 3-1 pitch, you're stupid. You know, I mean, they put a little peer pressure on you. But ladies and gentlemen, a lot of times that 3-1 pitch is going to be the best pitch you see. All right? Because now if I hit the board and we go 3-2, whose advantage is it now? Pitcher or hitter? It's back to the pitcher. All I got to do now is try to throw it close to the board again, because we don't want to go down looking. That's embarrassing, isn't it? Strike out looking, that's embarrassing. So we tend to, with 2 strikes, we swing at not anything, but we swing at
Much more borderline
pitches than we would with 1 strike. But sometimes if I think he's struggling and maybe I'm struggling a little bit and I could use a walk, on 3-1, I'll get up there and try to create a distraction. All right? How cool would it be to get in the box and stand there like this? Pitcher looking, what are you doing? You drunk? All right? But now I still got to hit the board. And this crazy guy's standing here. But anytime you can work yourself a walk, because it counts as a hit in this game.
If I play against Bob and he goes 3-0 on me, just before Bob gets on the mound to throw that 3-1 pitch or 3-0 pitch, I ask the umpire for time. Because I know Bob's trying to hit the middle of that. I want to break his rhythm. Because now he's focused on literally just throwing it right in the middle of that mat. So I'll call time just as he gets ready to get into his motion and go. Try and break his rhythm, and then I'll get back in. Now he might throw it right in the middle of the board again on the very next pitch, but I'm trying to play a mind game with him, just like he is when he's in the box with another pitcher.
Mental warfare.
Remember, it's 50% mental, 50% physical, and the rest is what?
Mental.
Okay.
Mental again, yeah. All right, we good. Any questions on this? All right, it's time to hit. Let's go. Put the chairs away. Put your paperwork away.
We get a picture.
Yeah, we're going to get a team picture. I'm sorry, group picture.
On red.